We usually talk about the rush to get into the big tech companies.
Right, the golden ticket.
But in late 2025 and now into early 2026, we're seeing the complete opposite. It's not just, normal turnover.
No, not at all. This is the literal architects of modern AI fleeing the companies they built. OpenAI, Google, Meta, Anthropic.
They're calling it the great AI exodus.
And it's not burnout. We've seen the resignation letters, the internal memos, and there's a really clear pattern here. The age of open-ended research at these big labs, it's basically over.
Replaced by just aggressive product deadlines.
Exactly. Aggressive commercialization.
I mean, you can kind of see why, right? OpenAI is sitting at a $500 billion valuation. Anthropic's at 380.
Yeah, you can't just run science experiments with that kind of pressure. Investors want products shipping, not just theoretical papers.
The money changed the entire mission.
It crushed the curiosity that built them in the first place.
So let's start with OpenAI, because that code red from Sam Altman, that seems to be the real spark. It was a massive pivot. The entire company was told to focus on one thing, making ChatGPT reliable enough to beat Google's Gemini 3.
And that had casualties.
A big one. Jerry Twork, the VP of Research, he wasn't just building a better chatbot, he was working on what he called continuous learning.
Which is kind of the holy grail, isn't it? Models that learn in real time.
Pretty much, but it takes an incredible amount of compute power.
And in a code red, I'm guessing all that power was going to ChatGPT.
Every single GPU. They were hoarding them. So Twork was basically starved of resources. He couldn't do the science anymore, so he left to start core automation.
That makes sense from a research standpoint, but then you have someone like Zoe Hitzig leaving, and that wasn't about compute.
No, that was about the business model itself. She resigned over the plan to put targeted ads inside ChatGPT.
Oof.
Yeah. Her argument was that people treat these AIs like confidants. They talk about their deepest fears, medical problems, relationships.
And using that to sell them something feels...
It's a manipulation vector we aren't built to handle. That was her fear. A huge ethical line.
Speaking of ethics, you'd think Anthropic would be immune to this. Their whole brand was, we are the safety guys.
The Anthropic paradox, right?
What's that?
A $380 billion valuation. It just demands growth. And that growth is often at odds with the slow, careful pace of safety research. They had to rush Claude Opus 4.6 to market.
And the team wasn't happy. I heard about Mernang Sharma, their safeguards lead.
He didn't just resign. He wrote a manifesto. Quoted poetry. He explicitly warned that the world is in peril.
Wow.
He claimed safety values were just being overruled by the need to ship product. I mean, when the guy in charge of the brakes tells you you're going too fast.
You're supposed to listen. But they didn't.
The market won.
And then you have Meta, where the drama feels almost personal. Yeah. What happened with Yann LeCun is just wild.
There was a complete clash of philosophies. LeCun is a literal godfather of AI who thinks LLMs are a dead end.
He wants to build world models, right? Things that understand reality.
Exactly. But Zuck needs to compete today. So in this move that shocked everyone, he made LeCun report to Alexander Wang,
the founder of Scale AI. But Scale AI is a data labeling company.
It was seen as a profound insult, like telling a Nobel laureate to report to the guy who manages the spreadsheets. LeCun walked out almost immediately, started his own lab, AMI.
Just incredible. And at XAI, Elon Musk just created a different kind of chaos.
By merging it with SpaceX, you create this $1.25 trillion behemoth.
But you're mixing a tiny, scrappy startup with a massive bureaucratic defense contractor.
It was oil and water, total culture clash. Half the founding team, Jimmy Ba, Tony Wu, they quit on the spot. They wanted to code, not fill out government paperwork.
So when you step back, the whole industry is splitting in two.
That's what we're seeing, a split between what we're calling the Monoliths and the Neolabs.
Monoliths being big tech.
Right. They're all about scale and sales now. But the top talent, the scientists, they're fleeing to these small, specialized Neolabs where they can actually do the work.
So the sellers versus the thinkers.
That's a perfect way to put it.
So here's the thought I'm left with, and I think it's one for you to consider too. If all the original visionaries, the safety architects, if they're all publicly warning that profit has completely eclipsed ethics and they're running away from these companies, how comfortable should any of us be with the products they left behind?
That is the question we all need to be asking.
Thanks for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.